Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Antonio, Salarino, and Solanio. Antonio. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff it is made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn, and such a want which sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself. Meaning of the conversation. Antonio, to be honest, I don't know why I am so sad. I am tired of it, and you say you are tired of it too. But I have no idea how I got so depressed. And if I cannot figure out what is making me depressed, I must not understand myself very well. Salarino. Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There, where your argosies with portly sail, like signers and rich burghers on the flood, or, as it were, the pageants of the sea, do overpeer the petty traffickers that courtesy to them, do them reverence, and they fly by them with their woven wings. Meaning of the conversation. Salarino is saying, you are worried about your ships. This conversation is between Salarino and Antonio. Your mind is out there getting tossed around on the ocean with them, but they are fine. They are like huge parrot floats on the sea. They are so big, they look down on the smaller ships, which all have to bow and then get out of the way. Your ships fly like birds past those little boats. Solanio. Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still, plucking the grass to know where sits the wind, peering in maps for ports and piers and roads, and every object that might make me fear misfortune to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad. Now Solanio is saying, yes, believe me, if I had such risky business ventures in other countries, I would be sad too. I would worry about it every second. I would constantly be tossing blades of grass into the air to find out which way the wind was blowing. I would be peering over maps to figure out the best ports, piers, and waterways. Everything that made me worry about my ships would make me sad. Salarino. My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ache when I thought, what harm a wind too great at sea might do. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand, veiling her high top lower than her ribs, to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which, touching but my gentle vessel's side, would scatter all her spices on the stream, enrobe the roaring waters with my silks, and in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing, shall I have the thought, To think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing be chanced would make me sad. But tell not me, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. Meaning of the conversation, Salarino is saying, I would get scared every time I blew on my soup to cool it, thinking of how a strong wind could wipe out my ships. Every time I glanced at the sand in an hourglass, I would imagine my ships wrecked on sandbars. I would think of dangerous rocks every time I went to church and saw the stones it was made of. If my ship brushed up against rocks like that, its whole cargo of spices would be dumped into the sea. All of its silk shipments would be sent flying into the roaring waters. In one moment, I would go bankrupt. Who would not get sad thinking about things like that? It's obvious. Antonio is sad because he is so worried about his cargo. Antonio, believe me, no. I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad. Antonio is saying, no, that's not it. Trust me. Thankfully, my financial situation is healthy. I don't have all of my money invested in one ship or one part of the world. If I don't do well this year, I will still be okay. So, it's not my business that's making me sad. Solanio, why then? You are in love? Solanio is saying to Antonio, well then, you must be in love. Antonio, Fee. Antonio is saying, oh, give me a break. Solanio, not in love neither? Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry, and it were as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Now by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time. Solanio is saying to Antonio that you are not in love either. Fine, let's just say you are sad because you are not in a good mood. You know, it would be just as easy for you to laugh and dance around and say you are in a good mood. You could just say you are not sad. Humans are so different. Some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and other of such vinegar aspect that they will not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. Meaning of this conversation, some people will laugh at any time, and others are so grouchy they won't even crack a smile when they hear something hysterically funny. Enter Bassanio, Lorenzo and Gratiano. Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman, Gratiano and Lorenzo. Fare ye well, we leave you now with better company. The meaning of the conversation, here comes your cousin Bassanio and Gratiano and Lorenzo too. Goodbye then, we will leave you to talk to them, they are better company. Salarino, I would have stayed till I had made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me. Salarino is saying that he would have stayed to cheer Antonio up if his nobler friends hadn't shown up. Antonio, your words is very dear in my regard. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart. Antonio is saying, "You are both very precious to me, but I understand you need to leave to take care of your own business." Celerino to Bassanio, Lorenzo, Gratiano, "Good morrow, my good lords." Celerino is saying to Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano, "Good morning, gentlemen." Bassanio to Celerino and Solanio, "Good signers both, when shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceeding strange, must it be so?" Bassanio to Solerino and Solanio is saying, "Hello, friends. When are we going to have fun together again? Just name the time, we never see you anymore. Does it have to be that way?" Celerino, "We will make our leisures to attend on yours." Celerino is saying that, "Let us know when you want to get together. We are available." Lorenzo, "My lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you have in mind where we must meet." Lorenzo is saying to Bassanio, "We will say goodbye for now, since you have found Antonio. But don't forget, we are meeting for dinner tonight." Bassanio, "I will not fail you." Bassanio is saying, "Don't worry, I will be there."